Hello everybody, it's Aaran back from Screenstars, and I'm really pleased to be back on the Geek Legion of Doom channel to bring you another review. Today I'm taking a look at the 2023 action film Killshot. The film is co-written and directed by Aaran Novak, who also appears in the film, but the main two stars here are Rib Hills and Rachel Cook. Now the film focuses on Rib Hills' character Jackson, who essentially is like a hunting tour guide. So his day job essentially is to take customers out into the wilderness and help them, seek out their perfect hunt, their perfect kill, whatever it might be. And his newest customer is played by Rachel Cook, called Kate. Now, while they're out in the wilderness looking for, the perfect spot to do the hunting, they happen upon a dead body hanging in the trees, and they find like 100 million. In like a briefcase sort of thing. What they don't realise is there is a group of terrorists on the hillside who are searching desperately for this money, which puts Jackson and Kate directly in the bullseye of these terrorists, and it then becomes a fight for survival for these two. Right, what are my thoughts on Killshot? Well, essentially, Killshot is a low-budget film. You always have to take that into consideration when you're going into these films. You can't have the expectations of going in and watching like a top-class, highly polished, hugely budgeted movie, because that's just not what you're going to get here. Now, while this film is low budget, there's also a lot of things here that are subpar, unfortunately. It's not exactly this film what I would describe as highly polished or well made by any stretch of the imagination. There is issues here with the script. Some of the dialogue is, horrifically bad and really, really cheesy, unfortunately. But movies like this, like low budget action films, quite a lot that you watch kind of try and pay homage or pay respects to like action films that have come before, and there's elements of that with this film. There's a little bit of cliffhanger here, even though it's not necessarily on a cliff. But the whole idea of like this money on the mountain and these terrorists sort of thing wanting to get this money back, and the heroes get their hands on the money first, so on and so forth. There's elements of cliffhanger here. There's also elements of other action films. While you're watching this film, you'll hear beats in the music that remind you very much of Commando and things like that. So it is almost tipping the hat to action films that have come before. However, I personally find that when action films do that, or any films when they do that, they almost, I think, have to do it with the tongue firmly in the cheek and be really self-aware of what they are. And it's a fine balance. And this film, unfortunately, doesn't do that particularly well. It takes itself far, far too seriously. And that's one of the biggest downfalls of this film. A film doesn't have to be high budget for you to enjoy it. I watch, and so does Leo on this channel and others on this channel, watch and review many, many low-budgeted films, and many of them can be entertaining in their own right. This, for me, has too many problems with it to actively encourage you to enjoy this one and watch this one, because there's too many faults with it, in my opinion. For a start, it takes way too long to get going. It's got a confusing start. We are initially introduced to these terrorists over in Afghanistan doing some kind of heist or something. It's a really strange beginning. It's really odd, and it doesn't set the film up really, because the acting of some of those involved is not great at the beginning of the film. And then it jumps to this Jackson character, and again it tries to do some character development with him. We get constant flashbacks. It's made clear that he's lost a child, he's got marriage problems, so on and so forth, but it doesn't really do anything really to endear you towards his character at all, because it's quite sloppily done. And then nothing happens for so long in this film. I think it's well over 40 minutes, maybe longer, before really a shot is fired in anger, certainly by Jackson and Kate trying to protect themselves, from these terrorists. What we get leading up to that point, and beyond to a large degree, is clips of Jackson and Kate interacting, talking, flirting as well, before they even set off anywhere. There's clips of all that sort of stuff going on. And then you get them chatting, talking, bonding. Then you get these terrorists wandering around the mountains, clips of him having flashbacks about his, what's happened in his life, and you get that over and over again. It's almost like a constant loop, and you feel like you're in Groundhog Day. So by the time the action starts, if the action was tolerable, interesting and fun and well made, you can kind of ignore a lot of that, but it gets to the action part of the film and it's really dull. The action, it's not exciting, it's not immersive, doesn't draw you in as an audience member, doesn't put you on the edge of your seat, and it's the sort of action that will make you roll your eyes. For example, they have cast Rachel Cook in this film, there's no denying it. She's a very attractive young woman. So, conveniently or very inconveniently for her, when the terrorists attack them for the first time, she's stood around the campfire in her panties. And honestly, you're just like, what is going on when that sort of stuff happens? It's not endearing at all to this film. Okay, take advantage of this good-looking woman, but do it in a better way. There's no chemistry between the two leads. The dialogue is bad, and it's just not a fun film to watch, really. I can't really score this one higher than a 3 out of 10 because there's sometimes in movies like this you can forgive a lot if it's tongue-in-cheek, if there's a little bit of humour there, if it's lighter. So if you're self-aware of what it is, this one for me took itself too seriously, therefore I couldn't take it seriously when the faults started appearing in this film. So unfortunately guys, this isn't a film I can recommend to you. This is probably one to miss unless you are a real fan of low budget action films or any of the people involved in making it. So thanks for watching guys. Don't forget to call back on the channel for plenty more reviews, and I will hopefully back at some point in the future to bring you another review as well. Thanks very much.